Welcome to Honduras, a country known for its natural beauty and political turmoil. But hidden away in this struggling nation is a city unlike any other. Known as Prospera, it is an ultra-capitalist enclave designed to operate as its own micronation. The people behind this city claim they are creating a utopia of innovation and opportunity for Honduras and the rest of the world. A city of the future where they experiment with cutting-edge biomedical research. But behind it all, there are rumors of exploitation, stolen land, and a government hell-bent on shutting it all down. So I flew down to Honduras to find the truth. Is Prospera really a utopian city of the future? Or is it a dangerous, unregulated experiment gone awry? This is the story of Prospera, the city where death is optional.
To actually solve the problem of corruption here in Honduras.
They're not going to chase you, they're going to shoot you.
I'm watching a man get a chip implanted in his hand.
I don't think I can answer this on camera right now.
That makes me feel like I'm being tracked.
I got people working in there, but they have no rights.
All right. I am in Miami International Airport, about to fly to Honduras. Long story short, I made a video about Prospera, and then like 12 hours later, someone from the company hit me up and said like, hey, we'll fly you out, we'll put you up. So I was literally booking a flight on my way to my day job. It's pretty fucking wild. Prospera is a community located on the island of Roatan in Honduras. The city operates like a private company, with citizens paying a yearly fee, which the city collects as income to pay back shareholders. At its peak, Prospera hosts over 1,000 people, and is well on the way to host 10,000 by the year 2030. Its population is spread between the city's many facilities, including a resort and a brand new apartment block. It is also host to over 200 companies, and this includes gene therapy, biohacking, robotics, and blockchain companies, which chose Prospera due to its lax regulations. This massive influx of foreigners and investment is seen as a threat by the Honduran government, as they claim Prospera will exploit locals and their land as a non-state actor. All right, I just got off the plane in Roatan. Oh, this is a chaotic airport. These Honduran ATMs don't want my money. They don't want my cards. They don't want anything to do with me. I was gonna rent the car, but
You cancel.
yeah, it didn't work out.
Okay, let's do it, my friend.
All right, how you doing?
Where are you going?
I'm going to Crawfish Rock, the Duna residences.
Oh yeah, Prospera.
Prospera, yeah. Have you lived on the island your whole life?
My whole life.
Whole life?
Yeah, 43 years old.
40.
43.
Wow. Oh, 43. Wow. Has it changed a lot since you've,
Yeah, it's a change a lot.
yeah?
Yeah, but before it's we don't have a lot of tourists. Before it's very hard, no, life at the island. But right now it's more better for the for busy, no.
A lot more tourists?
Yeah.
Is Prospera a big deal on the island?
Big deal.
Yeah. What's the general consensus? Are people worried about it? Are they excited for it?
The people like it. They give job for local people, no.
A lot of jobs?
Yeah.
Okay.
But right now, I know what is the happened for the Prospera and government. The government, they closed the principal office.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
I know. He tells the Prospera they don't pay taxes for the government, but the Prospera say he pay the taxes. The government they know. I don't know what is the problem there.
I was doing a lot of research on the special economic zones, the ZEDES, before I came, because it's really interesting how they set that up so fast. Now the things I'm mentioning here are called ZEDES, Zones for Economic Development and Employment. They are special economic zones written into the Honduran Constitution in 2011 and actualized in 2013 by the much disliked president Juan Orlando Hernandez. The zones are areas that foreign investors can purchase, and they are subject only to Honduran criminal code. That means the foreign investors can write their own tax code, civil code, and whatever else makes up society. And it's in this special economic zone that Prospera is built. This is what makes it a private city. This has put them at the center of a political battle between the old president that everybody hated.
The ex-president of Honduras is accused of turning his country into a narco state, boasting that he liked shoving drugs up the noses of Americans.
And the new president that everybody hates, Xiomara Castro.
Thousands of opponents protested in Honduras against President Xiomara Castro, whom they accuse of abusing power.
Castro, a left-leaning socialist president, has made it her goal to shut the ZEDES down once and for all. Now, why, you're asking? Well, we'll get to that later. After a long cab ride and a long trip down an unkempt dirt road, we finally pull up to Prospera. Yeah, there's the Prospera.
Yeah, it's Prospera.
Yeah, that's where I'm staying.
Okay.
It's the tallest building on the island now, I've heard.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Something so surreal about just a skyscraper in the middle of the jungle. Wow. Perfect.
Okay, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Thank again.
See you soon, man.
Yeah, man.
Just a weekend ago.
This is Nick and Nelson, the founders of Vitalia. Vitalia is a startup accelerator that exists within Prospera.
Significant. And
So what is Vitalia?
okay, so Vitalia started up as a pop-up city with the idea of let's make that optional. Vitalia was intended to be like heavily focused on biotech longevity. So the idea is from a pop-up city is that you take like really smart people from a field and you put them all together in the same space for an extended period of time. Here in Vitalia, we got like a bunch of scientists, we got a bunch of investors that invest into this kind of companies. We got a bunch of entrepreneurs, put them all together to live together like for 2 months and see what they came up with.
After meeting everybody, and everybody showing me the chips they've implanted in their hand,
Some program things into it.
I use this. Nick's wife, Kara, gave me a tour around the property.
I don't know if Nelson told you, but this building is the tallest tower on the island. So they could do it because Prosper has their own, their own jurisdiction, their own laws to build this high. So I read about Prospera probably back in, I guess 2021, so not that long ago. And like when I read it, my mind was just blown that this could either be the world's greatest invention or the world's biggest scam. You can really see all of the beta district here. So we have Circular Factory, the beta residences, as well as the beta building. And then I definitely recommend going to Circular Factory because they have giant robots there that are making the building parts of the city. I know our inspirations, I don't work for Prosper, I'm just a super fan, but I know like a huge inspiration for Prosper is like Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shenzhen.
Yeah.
All these cities that are relatively new and how fast they were able to grow. So the idea is to grow even faster here.
Do you have like, is there an idea of what would happen here if it was like, the ruling was that it was illegal and you guys have to leave immediately? Is there like, would like the military come in? Do you have any idea, or is it just like completely up in the air?
I don't know. I don't think I can answer this on camera right now.
Fair enough. So what's this ruling I'm referring to? With all their robots and hand chips, the current government is not a big fan of Prospera or the ZEDES. That's why on September 20th, 2024, the Castro government declared the ZEDES unconstitutional. A few weeks prior, the Castro government also ended their extradition treaty with the United States, the same treaty that was used to indict the previous president on drug trafficking charges. And all of this comes in tandem with Castro's brother-in-law asking drug traffickers for money to fund the current regime, leading some to believe that all these changes are just a smokescreen to cover up government corruption. Prospera is patiently awaiting a ruling on what will happen now that the ZEDES are unconstitutional. And a few weeks prior to my visit, government officials and police officers showed up on their doorstep in a bid to scare them. And there's currently a serious threat of something much worse happening. Under the weight of this knowledge, I made my way to Symbiont Labs, a body modification facility in Prospera, in order to watch Nick get a chip implanted in his hand. Hey, Brogan.
Jason, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
We're coming here with cams.
Hey, how are you?
Good, Brogan.
Yeah, Cass, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, do you know our shit? You know what we do?
The implants?
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, we're Symbiont Labs. I'm Cassix. I've been a body modification person for like a decade. We came out here to essentially create a road to creating like an industry, essentially. One example here, I'll just show you this. We're working on some body modification stuff. So this is some body art related. These will be, you'll be able to put this type of thing under a tattoo, right? So the very first ones are like this. They're just simple lighting you can turn on.
For the surgery itself, is it just like a small incision, like super?
Yeah, in this case, we're going to use a scalpel. We're going to be using just a needle. So it's just a quick poke, and then you slide the device in and just close it up.
Wow.
That's the apex flex, right? And it's somewhat flexible. And then this is the needle we're going to be using to place it.
Okay.
I'm gonna get an implant here into my hand.
Wow, that was so quick.
One thing I was afraid of was like looking at it, but Cassix did really well. He didn't really give me a lot of time to think about it.
Not too bad, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Quick and easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I just watched somebody get a chip implanted in their hand and pay for the surgery with Bitcoin. Future's fucking dope. How could you hate this? How could you be a doomer? Look me in the eye. How could you be a doomer when the world is this beautiful? Look at that and be like, oh God, the world's so dystopian. Fuck you. Come on, man. Everything's fucking awesome. After being dazzled by their state-of-the-art architecture and futuristic surgeries, I knew there was something I needed to investigate. The elephant in the room that casts controversy over this whole endeavor. Crawfish Rock. A village located next to the land Prospera has purchased, which is one of the most rural and forgotten parts of the country. Interest in this small village of a few hundred black Caribbeans has spiked, as they are now dead smack in the middle of a political power struggle between Prospera and the Honduran government. The New York Times, Democracy Now!, and many other outlets have all accused Prospera of exploiting locals and potentially taking land from them. But is all this true, or is it just sensationalist journalism? Alright, so I've spent a lot of time at Prospera, a lot of time in the Duna building. I've gotten that tour, okay? But I've yet to go to the neighboring village of Crawfish Rock. So hopefully talk to some locals. I want to see like the real opinion, you know? I've been talking to a lot of Prospera people, but I really want to talk to somebody who's, you know, lived here their whole lives and seen it before Prospera and after. Hello. No, I can't deny that I'm a bit nervous just walking rurally by myself. Honduras is one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Roatan's extremely safe. So I've heard from the locals compared to the mainland, but there's just something about walking by yourself through the woods that makes me feel like I'm being tracked, and any second now, someone's gonna pop out and just like steal all my shit. Lived in Crawfish Rock your whole life? Yeah. What do you think about Prospera? Do you guys like it, or do you feel more like you don't like it very much?
I have no problem. I have nothing against.
Yeah.
Then is when it's coming about Prospera or ZEDES, that's what we are not in with. Okay, we do not like the law because they got people working in there, but they have no rights.
Okay.
They have no rights, so we want Honduras rights to be available in Prospera. Then we will work with Prospera.
So because it's the ZEDES law, they have no rights?
Yeah,
okay.
They give the workers them, they have no rights. They just...
Many of the locals have been bombarded with press over the last year and weren't willing to talk on camera. But this woman isn't alone in her takes on Prospera. Two local women, Louisa and Vanessa, the leaders of the Crawfish Rock Community Council, have been making the media rounds, expressing their concern for Prospera.
ZEDES Prospera has had a very negative impact on our community. We don't know when our home will be taken from us. And we have old people, we have single mothers, we have widows, and you know, it's a problem to be stressing and worried all the time when we will have to leave our community.
Just to address this as fast as possible, no. Prospera can't expropriate land. Land expropriation is illegal in their own legal code. The Committee for the Adoption of Best Practices, a national board that oversees the ZEDES, has banned expropriation, and 2 investigations by the Honduran Judicial Branch and the state's Human Rights Office found no breaches of human rights. The only way Prospera ZEDES can get land is by the legal and consensual purchase of land by Prospera. In fact, the Honduran government itself is the only entity that can legally expropriate land at their will. So why are the people of Crawfish Rock so concerned? I had the opportunity to talk with more locals later on in my trip, but until then, Nelson wanted to take me to see more of Prospera, mainly the Bitcoin Center and the Gene Therapy Clinic.
They got you pulled over by the cops. They can pull you over for no reason. Hola oficial, ¿cómo está? Sí.
What's that about?
So he thought that I didn't have my seatbelt on.
Oh.
Cops can just pull you over, you know, for no reason. Like they don't need a reason. Another very crazy thing about Honduras is that if you don't comply to a stop, they're not going to chase you. They're not to shoot you.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good. That's good to know.
They have permission to shoot if you don't stop.
All right, that's good. That's valuable information. Oh my god, that's wild.
This is our academy. I'm at TH.
Okay.
And the 2 main things that we do is we mine Bitcoin in Paraguay. From the Bitcoin that we're mining in Paraguay, we're then, from those proceeds, we're giving the free education over here in Roatan. So we provide free education to kids both in public and private school.
About Bitcoin?
Yeah, about Bitcoin.
Oh my god.
And once they understand how the actual banking system is not actually working, I then teach them about the solution, which is Bitcoin.
That's wild to children.
When you just hear it for the first time, yes, but if you actually think about it, no.
Yeah.
Because it's the younger generation who's actually more adapted to technology. So for them, thinking about money in a digital form is actually not that crazy. If you are on the mainland in San Pedro or Tegucigalpa, which are the two most important cities, and you just read the news, obviously you would hate Prospera, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? But then when you're here on the island and you see everything that's actually going on, and at first they were just throwing these big words to the average Honduran, which, for example, expropriating the land, right? They don't even understand what that is.
Yeah.
Right? They just understand, oh, they're stealing land. That's not what's happening over here at all. In my personal experience, just the Bitcoin Center, the fact that I can teach kids and young men about Bitcoin and the traditional banking system, and that I would not be able to do that if it wasn't for Prospera, because AmiTH wouldn't be here at all.
We then continued on to the gene therapy clinic, a controversial procedure banned in most countries, whose long-term side effects are unknown, but may include cancer and organ failure. Yet many still travel all over the world for its potential life-saving benefits.
So let me show you around a little bit. But then we go out a little bit from mainstream medicine or traditional medicine. We work a lot with stem cell therapies.
How many countries is it easy to do stem cell treatments in?
In the US, not at the moment because it's not a FDA approved treatment. And this is our procedure room, which is not really set up at the moment for procedure. But here is where we do most of our treatments. So the gene therapy that we offer here is the follistatin.
And that's another thing that's really only possible here, the gene therapy?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. At this point in my journey, my opinion on Prospera was all over the place. The people who live and work there, many of which are Honduran, graciously took me in and sang its praises. The businesses that have opened up there seem poised to make Roatan the Silicon Valley of the South. Some locals seem to love it, while others think it's literally the worst thing that's ever happened to them. And all of this is under the shadow of a government that treats it as if it's the biggest threat to Honduran sovereignty. I'm as credulous as I am judgmental, yet I still couldn't answer this question. Is Prospera good or bad? So I went back to Crawfish Rock to speak with a native who has worked closely with Prospera for 5 years. A man named Henrik who told me that not only is Prospera the best thing to ever happen to the island, but the people who are smearing it are in fact the only problem. So it must be weird being like a very obscure village that no one's paying attention to, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of a dispute between foreign investors and the government, and you're right smack in the middle.
Yeah, the village is starting to get a bit famous now. All you can hear all around is Crawfish Rock. And they barely used to come to the village. Like, it would be strange to see a governmental support or anything come to this village back then. Now it's like every minute you see a government car come in, doing this, doing that, helping this, helping that. They had a rally against Prospera a couple of months ago in the village. They said that they would pay 300 meters of road.
So what's the point? Is that to like win you guys over on their side?
I think that's the whole idea. About winning the people over, confusing them mostly because they really can't confuse me anymore because this village been here a lot of years and it didn't seem interested to anybody that Prospera come by and start to help out on different lines. What about all of those years that it really needed?
Yeah, and no one is here.
Yeah. Man, the village is moving slowly, and a lot of it is coming from Prospera too, because people is working and making better money and better salaries. And
so the people who are against it, are they sort of trying to convince the other villagers to be against it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's their job. Why they don't want to learn about it or go find out for themselves? But that's their job. It's like, if you're with Prospera, I don't want nothing to do with you. We got a community board, but it doesn't seem like the whole idea is them is fighting Prospera. They're not in like for the benefit of the village. Seems to me, right? And we have a lot of journalists. Sometimes I meet them before. A couple months ago, I meet two ladies that was there in the village, and they were like just about headed to the airport, and they were like, "Oh man, I'm sorry about what Prospera's doing to the community." I'm like, "What?" She said, "How you mean what?" I said, "Prospera's doing nothing to the community, but good." And when I said that, she's like, wait, let me understand this. You work for them? I've been working with them for 4 years now, and the only thing I've seen them do was good for the village.
Henrik's sentiments were also echoed by Virginia, Another Crawfish Rock local who works with Prospera. Yeah, because I was talking to Henrik. It seems like there's a rift in the village almost of people who support it and people who are very against it.
Yes.
So why do you think people are against it?
The world, not just one community, the world is afraid of changes. And Prospera is something that some people really don't understand, you know? They understand that it's a company, it's here, it's gonna give people jobs. They need to understand that this is a future. This is something that's gonna make our community better. It's gonna give our kids a brighter future. It's gonna change Roatan. And I agree that there may be a few people in the community that is not in favor of Prospera. And that's fine. People are entitled to their own opinion. But I feel that if they can really understand what Prospera is all about, I really definitely feel that they will change their mind. I can remember that one person came into the community and this person just started saying that Prospera is going to be bad for us and that Prospera is going to take our land and, you know, they're not going to be any help to the community. And those words stuck with some people. I've been involved with Prospera ever since the beginning. I've been involved before this had even had a road. I've never seen them done anything to hurt Crawfish Rock. I've never seen them done anything to hurt the families in that community. They have been nothing but supportive to Crawfish Rock. They have been there for us. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a person standing here that wants to say good things about Prospera. I'm saying it because I know that it's true. I can either provide a picture, I can either provide a receipt from the money that they have donated. I can provide conversations from families that can say, thanks to Prospera, I'm alive. It's like working with a company where you're not blood related, but you feel that you're family because they have been there for the people in Crawfish Rock. You know, I made a few trips to the capital of Honduras, and I wish that people there could come, see what Prospera is about, go to the community, and just ask, what is Prospera to you? What do you think about Prospera? But hear it from the families that this company has helped, that this company has been there for. Hear it from those families.
During my time in Prospera, I was informed the city could have set up anywhere in the world. There are no shortage of special economic zones to choose from. They chose Honduras not because it was the best option, but they wanted to prove that not only was the private city model viable, but it could also help lift the surrounding area out of poverty. This is why they hire so many local Hondurans, like Lewis, who does all the murals for the city. This is why Nelson runs free coding classes and a hackathon for the local children. This is why Prospera always pays higher than Honduran minimum wage. If you want to investigate more documents for yourself, I'll link some down below. But all of their codes, statutes, and agreements are publicly available. But you wouldn't know any of this if you had only read the articles written about them and followed the narrative of the Castro government. So why does it seem like there's an active smear campaign against Prospera? There was a coup in 2009 that usurped the socialist-leaning president Mel Zelaya, who was replaced in a democratic election by a right-leaning president named Pepe Lobo, and followed by Juan Orlando Hernandez, the man who launched the ZEDES program. Xiomara Castro wants to repeal the ZEDES law, not because she thinks Prospera is uniquely evil, but simply because she wants to punish the previous government's legislators. And this makes even more sense when you learn that Xiomara Castro is Mel Zelaya's wife. There's even evidence of the government paying the Crawfish Rock Community Council to smear Prospera. Although as someone who spent a week living at Prospera and talked to all the locals who work and live there, I neither heard nor saw any evidence of exploitation.
So for me, the biggest thing is I do believe in human potential. I wanted to change my country since I was little. You know, I was not raised like in a wealthy family in Honduras. I think that Prospera, it's just, for me, a vehicle for all of these people to do meaningful things. You have like that opportunity to test yourself, to start a company here, to try to solve a very difficult problem from here. What Prospera really wants to do is not to displace poverty, it's to eliminate poverty. Parts of the island or of the country right now can come here and find opportunities, right? The idea is that these kids from Crawfish Rock don't become gardeners. Like, I want them to be entrepreneurs. That's why I'm busting my ass here, guys. Like, I want them to be the next generation of entrepreneurs for the country. I think that's like my main takeaway, right?
I wasn't paid to make this video or directed in any way on what to say. When I came here, I had read about Prospera as some anarcho-capitalist billionaire state that exploits locals, steals land, and evades taxes. When I got here, I found that none of this was true. I did, however, find people who truly care about the future of their country, and who want to create an environment to prosper in a nation that has been plagued by poverty, violence, and corruption. People who are not only risking their time, but their lives. Since as of the time of recording this, Honduras has declared the ZEDES and by extension Prospera is completely illegal. And the fact it's now illegal means the Honduran government could come in and seize all of their assets and arrest all of the Hondurans that live and work there. It feels like there's no justice with this video, as the whole thing could literally come crashing down any day now. But if you take away anything, it's the fact that you're always capable of bettering your life no matter what the circumstances are. You can create the change you want to see in the world. Every freedom we enjoy was created by people who stuck their neck out for what they believed in and put their life on the line. Although the future of Prospera is entirely uncertain, they've set a precedent for what can be done that will never be forgotten. I filmed and edited this video alone. I had no budget, no team, a broken camera, and I did it all on holiday time away from my day job. So if you liked this video and you want to support me and independent journalism, subscribe on Patreon and YouTube. All of the interviews from this video are available on my Patreon completely unabridged. It's like 2 hours of content, as well as hours of other interviews with famous thinkers. You also get access to my book club, where we read and discuss a book every month on the theme of cultural literacy. My goal is to educate you and myself about the world around us and all the issues that plague our culture. To do away with black and white reactionary thinking and actually figure out what the fuck is going on. Thank you for watching. Nothing is ever as it seems. And never kill yourself.